Hey, I'm Darius Harris. Welcome back to Team Focus USA. Coach, welcome.
Thank you, Darius.
Coach, you went into stories about our appointed time, meeting people God put in your life for a particular reason and a time. Do you have any more stories about that?
One more, and maybe two more, but one, 1988. Where were you at in 1980?
I was born October 23rd of 88.
Good, so you were here.
I was here.
And no, you weren't here because it happened in July.
Well,
So that's 2 months you were in the womb. So it works out, but 1988, July 31st, I believe it was, I was walking in the football office at University of Pittsburgh. I was head coach. And we're going to start our meetings the next day, August, and then our players would come in and report about the 15th, and then we would practice, and then we'd get ready to go. So I was in the office doing last-minute paperwork. At 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, p.m., the phone rings. Now, as the head football coach, you don't always want to answer that phone because it could be bad, it could be good, but so I was sitting there and thinking, okay, nothing much happens but bad after a certain amount of time. So I said, I don't know I'm going to answer that. And something told me to answer the phone. So I said, okay, I'm going to answer it. So I picked the phone up, I said, hello. And the guy on the other end said, I'm looking for Mike Gottfried, the head football coach. And I said, you got him. And he said, I want to be a football coach. I want to be on your staff. And I said, well, first of all, everybody wants to be a coach and wants to be on a staff. And I said, what makes you think you can do that? And he said, well, I played high school ball. It's very nice sounding. And he said, I played high school ball as a good football player. And he said, and then I played a small college and I just graduated. I said, well, what are you doing right now? And he said, well, I'm working on the toll booth, the Pennsylvania State toll, and he said, I give out tickets and I cash in the tickets and give them the change and so forth. I said, okay. I said, here's what I'm going to tell you. I said, when someday we'll meet and talk and I can have some time for you, but we're starting our season tomorrow. And practice meetings and trying to figure this out. And I said, I'll put your name down. You give me your name at the end of this call, or you send me a resume. And I said, I'll put yours in a file. But I have no openings right now. He was trying to get Darius a graduate assistant position, which is you work about 18 hours a day for no money, but you make contacts and it could springboard you as a coach. I said, all our GAs are taken and we're starting tomorrow, but send your resume. And I didn't want to be a downer and I wanted to be enthusiastic and encourage him, and I did that and hung the phone up. Next day, we're in a staff meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. His secretary knocks on the door and comes in and said, Coach, the guy you told to bring his resume is here. I said, first of all, I didn't tell him to bring his resume. I told him to send it. So I said, I'll go talk to him. So I went out and I said, hey, I told you to send that resume. He said, no, I wanted to look you in the face. And I wanted to talk to you. I said, well, I don't have time. I said, I'm going to put your resume in the file. And I said, if we ever get any opportunities in the open jobs in the future, I'll call you. And he was very nice. I encouraged him. He was encouraging me, and he left. So about 8 days later, one of the GAs came in to see me. And he said, Coach, I have an offer to go to the Oakland Raiders to be the assistant special teams coach, but I don't want to leave you in the lurch. And I said, no, you got to go. You got to take that. That's why you do a graduate assistant. You do it to get an opportunity to move up. So you're going to take this job. Don't worry about me. We'll find somebody. So, we announced it to the coaches and everything, and they said, who are you going to hire? I said, I don't know. I said, I only got one resume in the folder. I said, so I'll call the guy. I kind of liked him anyway, so I called him and I said, listen, something happened, but one of our graduate assistants took a job at the Oakland Raiders. We have an opening. Are you interested? He said, I'll be there tomorrow. So he started that day for us. So, again, I go back. I could have not answered the phone. I could have not been there. I could have been in a different room. But everything works. Sometimes God puts people in your life. The enemy puts people in your life. You have to recognize. Sometimes God will put you in somebody's life to raise them and help, educate them and encourage them and those things. So that person was Mike McCarthy, who won the Super Bowl about 6 years ago. They called me from the toll booth. He was working on the toll booth. He went from the toll booth to Pitt, to getting his job, to bouncing around in the NFL, to being the head coach of the Green Bay Packers and winning the Super Bowl. Now he's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So you never know where your steps, what's going to happen, appointed times that God's going to use. Now, if I wouldn't have taken that call and Frank Gans would have left, somebody else would have hired him, because God, I think what God would say, okay, I'm going to use plan A. I'm going to get him to call Mike Gottfried at this time, and plan B, if that don't work, but he knew it was going to work. He knows everything from the beginning to the end. So that's the story. You got to be very courteous and cautious to take time with people and figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do here? What's the appointed time about? And so I don't want any of you to miss an opportunity. This comes from a long life of trying to figure it all out. But God has put people in my life still today. So it's I'm thankful that He did. Any questions?
Yeah, Coach, actually I have one. And it just touches bases on the importance of, or can you share the importance of just showing up? If Mike McCarthy would have never, honestly, just showed up, you'd have never had a chance to meet him, look at him, shake his hand, see what kind of person he was. So can you just tell the guys the importance of just showing up?
I think that's a great question, because a lot of times I was so anxious to get to the next thing that I didn't take time sometimes to really, a person come off the street or whatever, and they wanted to talk. A lot of times I probably missed an opportunity there, but I was busy, so I took what was more important to do right away. But relationships are really important. So you have to take the time, you have to recognize anything that happens like that. And Mike McCarthy did a good thing, because not only did I tell him to send it, but he brought it. So he probably took off work, came there to make an impression. And I can honestly tell you, my mind was, we were trying to get ready for the season, so I didn't give it much thought. But as I think back to your question, that was very important for him to come.
Thanks again for tuning in. To learn more, visit www.teamfocususa.org. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook.